So my cousin Andrew has a girlfriend, and if you knew Andrew, that sentence alone would shock you. But she has a gaming PC that is old and slow and needs to be replaced. So Andrew thought it would be a great idea for me to build her a new gaming PC as a Christmas gift from him to her, assuming that he purchased all the parts himself. Not only did I oblige his request, but being the cool cousin I am, I went a step further and asked some vendors if they'd be willing to provide some hardware for the build, and they all said yes. Having said that, Andrew did purchase some of the components himself, like the CPU and a few others, so I suppose he is still worthy of his girlfriend's love in some small way. Now before I rattle off the parts for the new system and get building, I did want to show you guys his girlfriend Sydney's current gaming PC, which I have right behind me. Now I have no idea what's inside this system. I have not cracked it open at all, haven't turned it on. I don't even know if it turns on. Actually, we should try that first. Oh, the noises. What is that? Is that a fan? Oh my god, that's terrible. It's like the bearing inside is drunk. Oh god, what is that? The case just pooped dust. Oh, I'm quite amazed that it made it to Windows. All right, well, Windows is password protected, as well it should be, so good job there, Sydney. But for some reason, I can't get into the BIOS here. It's just not pulling up any prompt screen to let me mash delete or any other key. So I'm gonna crack the side panel open, disconnect all of our drives, and maybe that'll force boot us into the BIOS so we can take a look at what our CPU is without having to remove the cooler. But for now, let's just admire how atrocious this case is. I mean, it's obviously a budget chassis. This is an Apevia, still a somewhat relevant case maker today. I have never heard of their Cybertron series before, though. There's probably a good reason why they discontinued it. Very limited airflow. You clearly saw that there was zero dust ventilation when I popped that front cover off. And 3 5¼ bays, a true sign of the times. Kind of nice that we do have dual USB 3 there. I was kind of surprised about that. But take a look at this side panel. This is the best part of the case. It's got that colored acrylic, ventilated slats, a couple fan mounts, popping out a little bit. Oh man, this is hideously awesome. I will say you get better airflow with something like this than a tempered glass side panel though. But let's actually crack this sucker open and see what we got under the hood. No thumb screws on the side panel, just regular old screws. Release the Kraken! Oh, I forgot the fan. It's a Molex fan! Of course it is. All right, what do we got here? First of all, what the hell is this? It's a Wi-Fi card just chilling in the drive cage. That probably explains why there's a missing expansion slot here. I don't know what's happening right now. We've got an Antec cooler. Wow, I haven't seen this logo in a computer in like 5 years. Is there even a fan in this cooler? Is it like inside or is it passive? I see some LEDs. This is weird. This is a weird cooler. We got 1 stick of DDR3. Crucial, DDR3, and this is 8 gigs. We got an 8 gig stick. Okay, at least there's 8 gigs in here. Our motherboard is the Gigabyte GA78LMT USB 3. Wow, you know this board's old when they put USB 3 in the model name because that was a feature worth advertising at the time. But this is an AMD system, guys. We're on the 760G platform, I believe. What GPU do we have? It's hard to read labels under all the dust. GTX 760 Ti OC. Hey, that's not too bad. You know, nice little Asus card there, 760 Ti. You could still run some like esports titles with this. For power supply, we have an LS Ultra 500 watt unit that looks a little scary. Obviously, you can't judge a book by its cover, but look at these ketchup and mustard cables. I can definitely judge that all day. Apart from that, we have a single hard drive, which Andrew has informed me that Sydney is going to reuse this for the new build. And then we also have an optical drive. There will not be any room in her new case for that. I'm sure she doesn't use it much. Before I forget, I'm gonna unplug her hard drive, which has the OS on it, so we can potentially boot into the BIOS. Let's try this again. Oh yeah, I turn the power supply on. Every time. No. No! Okay, we can't get into the BIOS for some reason. I'm not going to spend all day trying to figure out why, but we can assume for the most part that we've got maybe an entry-level to mid-range FX series processor here with a GTX 760 Ti. Not a terrible system for its time. It definitely lasted her for a while there, but if you ask anyone, it's time to move on to something new. So here we go! Let's talk about the system that we're building her today. Pretty nice lineup of hardware here. This is probably going to come in anywhere between $700 and $800 is my guess, starting with the AMD Ryzen 5 3600. This is a great CPU, whether you're just gaming, whether you want to do some streaming, maybe some light video editing. It's a nice all-around CPU. For 200 bucks, it doesn't get a whole lot better right now on the AM4 platform with this little guy. It comes included with the Wraith Spire cooler. That's the short stubby one that doesn't have any lighting on it, unfortunately, but it's more than plenty for the 3600. Also, it saves us some money. Additionally, we have, let's just start in order, no particular order there, sorry. We're using a 16 gigabyte kit of Team Group's T-Force Delta RGB DDR4 3200 speed memory. So this is a nice little kit. It definitely has plenty of RGB on it, so that'll make Sydney happy. There are certainly faster kits than 3200 and cast latency 38, but for an entry-level to mid-range gaming PC, this is going to do just fine. Team Group has also provided an SSD, so this is going to be Sydney's boot drive that we're going to load Windows 10 onto. This is their MS30. We've got a 256 gig capacity, and this is a SATA Rev 3 drive. No blazing fast NVMe speeds here, but we're not paying as much for it either, and it still comes in a convenient M.2 form factor to make installation super quick and easy. I like that it comes with of the 3-year warranty and the fact that the PCB is black, as well as the sticker. The sticker's black and white, so very color neutral. It's going to match with everything, especially since our motherboard doesn't have a built-in M.2 heatsink. Speaking of which, we have the MSI B450 Tomahawk, the tried and true legend of B450 motherboards. The power delivery has been ranted and raved about for its price point. It's a really attractive board as well. It's got that silver plating on the chipset heatsinks in the VRM area. Plenty of slots here to mount a Wi-Fi card properly, for example. Gigabyte was kind enough to pitch in their GeForce GTX 1660, a lovely budget card. This is their OC edition, so it even comes factory overclocked. We've got 6 gigs of VRAM on board, and it's using the WindForce cooler, giving us not 1, but 2 fans, aiding in our heat dissipation. We have a backplate as well, which is fantastic for a mid-range card like this. Not only does this card have more updated connections, but it can also leverage G-Sync and FreeSync with G-Sync compatible displays, so if Sydney wants to upgrade her gaming monitor, she can have an even more fluid gaming experience than ever before. Full power, we have the Seasonic S12 III, 550 watt unit. I love Seasonic as a power supply maker. They make fantastic units that are super reliable. 80+ bronze certification with black cables. That being said, I still want to spice things up a little bit with some sleeved cables from Asia Horse. And finally, all these parts will live inside the NZXT H510. I love the subdued, kind of understated look, very clean, minimalistic, traditional NZXT aesthetic there, and the fact that the case brings some modern features that Sydney has never really had before, like tempered glass side panel, power supply shroud, way better cable management, as opposed to virtually no cable management, although she did a fairly good job considering what she had to work with. Anyway, very lovely case. I love how it's fairly compact for a mid-tower. It's actually roughly the same size as this garbage Cybertron. She'll be really excited, I think, to have a case like this one on her desk. Sydney, this is me telling you to not put your computer on the floor. But those are all the parts, hell yeah! As always, guys, I'll put links to all this stuff in the description below in case you're at all interested. Feel free to check them out. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get cracking on this build because I cannot wait to throw this one in the trash. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, this still has a purpose, guys. I mean, look at the Dell PC. It's still pulling its weight just fine. In fact, I've never seen this PC be more useful than it is right now. Okay, let's build it. Alright, the build is done. That was quick and easy, just like I thought it would be. You can see that I made a couple changes to the original parts list. I replaced the Stealth with a Wraith Prism RGB because it's shiny. I can't say no. I can't pass up an easy opportunity to add some unicorn vomit to a build, especially when I've got like 12 of these coolers lying around. It definitely would have looked a little awkward had the RAM been the only RGB element in the entire system. You can see I also added some ML120 Pros from Corsair. These are not RGB, just white LEDs, but they had a nice little glow there, but more importantly, they're really high performing fans, super quiet, except for right now, because they're plugged directly into the motherboard. I haven't configured anything in the BIOS yet, so they're just running at max RPM, which is why they are super noisy, but once I tune them, they'll be much quieter. And don't freak out, guys, I already had these fans lying around. No one had to buy them. That would have been a stupid purchase for a build like this. You'd rather allocate those funds towards a faster GPU, for example. Overall, though, this turned out to be a really clean mid-range system that's more than capable of handling 1080p gaming at ultra settings. Big shout out once again to all the vendors who pitched in for hardware here: Team Group, MSI, NZXT, and Gigabyte. You guys rock. And also thanks to Andrew for purchasing the rest of the hardware and letting me be a part of this beautiful Christmas gift to his girlfriend. At the end of the day, deep down, he knew that the best gift he could possibly give someone was me. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, toss a like before you go and get subscribed for more tech stuff coming at you really soon. Don't forget the merch store, Bitwit.tech holiday sale. I don't even know if it's still going on by the time you see this video, but if it is, you're in luck. Go check it out, pick up something you like, use it, wear it, and watch your frame rate increase by 10% or more. As always, thank you guys for watching, have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Pew!